Hello everyone! Ready to see what happens next? Let's do it then! Chapter 10 Saving Catnap. Are you sure you're feeling okay to come with us, Dog Day? The human asked as he stroked the puppy's head. My strafe is slowly coming back to me, the orange dog admitted. You're going after Catnap again, right? Bobby said he's the last obstacle before we confront the prototype. So I guess we gotta get him out of the way somehow, my friend explained. Instead of fighting him, can we try my plan? Dudley inquired. Sure, I don't see why not. What do you think, Huggy? He turned to me. What do we need to do to make him our friend, Dog Day? I asked and nodded my head. I like your spirit, Huggy, because I really think we can bring him back to our side. The dog began to hoist himself up. He shook a bit as he stood up, but managed to stay steady once he got his paws firm under him. I'll explain on the way, but we should get going to Catnap's territory. That way we'll find him for sure. My friend gulped at the thought of going right into the cat's territory. I wasn't too happy to be going that deep either. What if the plan went wrong? Catnap will definitely have the advantage over us there. Don't worry, I really think it's going to work this time, because now I have something that I didn't have before. The dog watched us look to one another with a confused expression. I have you two with me to give me the hope and courage I need. He seemed very confident in himself. Me and my friends smiled and nodded. We bid the other toys goodbye for the time being. Kissy made sure to wish us luck. The human and I followed Dog Day as he led us into the depths of Catnap's territory. His favorite places to prowl around for sure. Lots of nooks and crannies for his skinny body to hide in and ambush us. I would tell that the human was on edge, and so was I. We just didn't know when or where the cat will come from. Let's take cover behind a vat of red smoke, they suggested. A large container of that red gas sat in the corner of the room. It was so thick that no one could see through it. We all crouched behind the cylindrical vat. So what's the plan, Dog Day? The human asked him. When Catnap shows at the end of that hall, I need you to give me words of encouragement. Why is that? My friend persisted. The prototype uses a bright flash to render Catnap vulnerable and mess with his mind. It wasn't until today that I realized where that ability came from. He had taken it from me during that one period of experimentation. But that robot hybrid thing used it for evil and wiped Catnap's mind of any happy memories of us. He cradled his sun pendant in his paw. And if the prototype was able to use that ability to reset my friend's mind, then maybe I can bring his mind back to what it used to be. I just need to get my pendant bright enough to create that same flash the prototype does. I couldn't get it bright enough by myself. And to be honest, this is still very new to me. That's why I need you to give me the encouragement I need to shine my light of hope. Consider it done, I told him. Anything you need, Dog Day. You're our friend now. That's right. Just say the word, my friend chimed in. You two are the best, the puppy said. His eyes teared up a little and tail wagged. Just be careful out there. Promise us that if something goes wrong, you run away from him. He's strong and definitely dangerous when provoked. I explained. I promise, Doggy nodded. At the very least, I'll keep him distracted for a bit. I'll signal you. He flopped his tail up and down 2 times. When it's safe to move about, and then you can finish powering the gas production zone. After that, we'll meet up at the infirmary to finalize any details on how we want to tackle the prototype. Sounds good. Let's make sure we can get Catnap on our side first, the human said. Yeah, I really hope this is going to work, the orange dog admitted. There were sudden thuds and clanks coming from a garbage cut at the end of the wall, at the end of the hall. We all huddled close together and cautiously peered around the vat to see who or what was coming. Catnap's long, gangly body came tumbling out of the pipe. He grunted in pain as his body tumbled over itself. It slowed to a stop where he lay on the ground for a few seconds, clearly in pain. It's Catnap, Dogday quietly gasped. I wonder what happened to him, the human whispered. The purple cat groaned and started to pick himself up. A paw reached up and rubbed his head. I can't believe those 2 got away from me, he grumbled. That furball is dead, and the human is going to the prototype. After that, it will be almost time to retrieve the puppy too. Catnap chuckled in delight as he concocted his plans, flicking his tail high. My master will be so pleased with me. The slender cat began to walk down the hall. Okay, it's time. Give me all the encouragement you've got, Dogday told us. You can do this, Dogday, the human whispered to him. Yeah, you're the best. We believe in you, Dogday. If anyone can bring Catnap back his senses, it's you, I added. Believe with all your heart, Dogday. We trust you, I fret, keeping going. The orange puppy closed his eyes and absorbed our words. His bandit started to light up a bright yellow. Dig deep, Dogday, I told him. You can do this, we both said. His bandit was getting very bright now. Dogday opened his eyes and nodded to us before boldly leaping out in front of Catnap. A bright yellow flash blinded the purple cat. Gah! He exclaimed and started to rub his eyes with the back of his paw. Catnap, Catnap, can you hear me? Dogday called to him. Those ominous black eye sockets blinked a few times and tried to focus on the person in front of him. Dogday? Dogday, is that you? Catnap's eyes squinted down. It's me, the orange dog beamed. Tears of joy started to come to his eyes. I can't believe it worked. It's been so long since I've heard you say my name, Dogday whispered to himself. It's so good to see you, Catnap rejoiced and got up on his hind legs. He approached Dog Day and gave him a hug. The orange dog weakly hugged back, still regaining his breath, his strength. It feels so long since I last saw you. Where are the other smiling critters? Catnap asked as he backed away and gave the puppy some space. The feline seemed completely oblivious to everything that had happened today, and perhaps for however long the prototype had used him as his slave. You don't know? Dogday cautiously asked him. The purple cat gave a confused look and shook his head. I watched as the puppy lowered his head and tail in sorrow before answering, Catnap, they're gone. Gone? What do you mean gone? Where did they go? The cat pressed for more of an explanation. They're dead, Catnap. They were murdered years ago. Dead? But how can this be? Who did this to them? Catnap started to show a little anger in his voice. Dogday flinched and looked to the ground. How would his friend take the news that the prototype killed them? Dogday, please, who killed them? He leaned down and tried to look the dog in his eyes. It was the prototype, Dogday forced out. The prototype? Catnap seemed surprised at this answer. That can't be right. The prototype saved us, and in return for that I've been helping him clean up the rest of the factory of anyone that tried to hurt him, hurt us. A paw rested over his chest, truly believing in what he was saying. Is that what the prototype told you? The orange dog asked, to which the cat nodded. Dogday sighed. Okay, Catnap. Promise me you'll stay calm when I tell you this. Catnap looked a bit suspicious, but ultimately gave his promise. Listen, Catnap. The prototype never saved us. He was the one that attacked us. I don't understand. That's not what my memory tells me. In fact, it hurts when I try to remember what happened that day we met him. His paw went to his head and rubbed. Catnap pulled it away when he felt something wet on his clawed fingers. Huh? What's this? He inquired as he saw the red liquid on his claws. He's been messing with your mind, Catnap. That's why you can't remember much of anything. Dogday explained. Oh, come on. Why would he do that? The feline spat back. Well, if he thought we were traitors, he would have programmed that into your mind to hunt us down, which you did. The orange dog tensed a little as he placed blame on his friend. Traitors? He wanted me to hunt down traitors. The wheels in Catnap's head started to turn and put a few pieces of the puzzle together. Right, and he saw the smiling critters as traitors because we refused to submit to him. He had captured us and experimented on us. His awful experiments killed Baba, Piggy, and Sweet Hoppy, who was tossed to the critter plushies and eaten alive right in front of my eyes. He sobbed as he told the story. You helped him hunt down the rest of us after we escaped, and now we're the only two smiling critters left, Catnap. Are you sure about this, Dogday? My only memories of the prototype telling me we're friends, the purple cat urged. I'm as sure of it as I'm standing in front of you now. The puppy took a sniff. Take a look at me, Catnap. You can see the stitches where he opened me up and tampered with things and even took stuff out. He let Catnap take a good look at his body before providing even more evidence of his case. You've got lots of stitches too, Catnap. He's taking things from you too. Who knows how long even you have before who knows how long even you have before he tosses you to the plushies. You'll be out of things he wants sooner or later, just like he did to the rest of us. Not to mention that fresh stitch on your head that you just touched. Dogday's paw reached up toward his head. Catnap ducked away from it, knowing that area was sensitive right now. I don't know what to think, Catnap admitted, curling his ears back. Catnap, have I ever steered you wrong? Dogday asked him. The feline thought about this for a moment before responding. No, Dogday, you never have. I really should believe in you and trust you like I used to. It's all right, Catnap. I shouldn't force all this on you at once. I understand this is probably a lot for you to take in right now. How about we take a little walk and talk this through? The orange dog offered. Yes, I like that very much. The cat nodded and started to walk off with his friend. The human and I noticed that Dogday made a signal with his tail. We were free to finish up restoring power to the gas production zone while our puppy friend kept Catnap distracted. Hopefully he could talk some sense into him during that time too. He seemed to be making some progress with the purple cat already, even though poor Catnap appeared to be very confused. But one thing seemed very clear, that he had no idea that he was hurting his own friends as the prototype slave. Chapter 11. The Prototype's New Creations. Catnap's POV. It was so nice to be taking a walk with Dogday. I couldn't remember the last time we did this. To be honest, I don't remember much of anything right now. It feels like there's a fog in my mind that was clouding a big chunk of time. For the first time, I was seeing clearly, and that was not necessarily a metaphor either. I was seeing crisp images, every nook and cranny in the factory, every small detail about Dogday walking next to me too. I was counting how many stitches were on my best friend. What if he was right? Did I have as many stitches on me too? Maybe more? What was I doing prior to just a few minutes ago? Only now did I realize that my vision had been clouded for a long time. If what Dogday was saying was true, that would mean I was living like that for years. I had been chasing down traitors, not seeing them clearly, as if there was an awful blurring filter over my vision. Even when I tried to think back about it, the images would not come clearly. But some of their words and voices started to come back to me. They definitely sounded like the tones of my smiling creator's friends. Even though my memories were fuzzy, my gut instinct was telling me that what Dogday said was true. The sound of my friends' voices pleading with me to stop attacking them wouldn't leave my mind. Guilt flooded my being and almost made me feel sick. Dogday must have noticed me, looking so glum. Are you okay, Catnap? You look kind of sad, he asked. I gave a heavy sigh. You know, Dogday, the more I think about it, the more I really think that you're right, that I really have been a bad cat and a bad friend. It's because of me that the smiling critters are dead, right? My whole body dropped as I admitted it out loud. Catnap, that's not, my best friend started to say, but I cut him off. Please don't take the blame off me, Dogday. You said it yourself. If it wasn't for me, the prototype wouldn't have had such easy access to all of you. I stopped rocking and turned to the puppy. Sitting my rump down, I took a deep breath. think you deserve something that's long overdue. My ears go back in shame, because I want to say that I'm so... I stopped myself as I realized my friend was distracted. His eyes went wide as he seemed to be looking at something behind me. He slowly walked past me, so I turned to look as well. We cautiously padded up to an open window. Dog Day stayed low to the ground, so I did too. Our heads peeked over the window still. Down below was lots of machinery that made loud noises, and toy parts scattered about the place. "What is this place?" I whispered. The orange dog next to me shuddered. "It's the prototype's lair," he trembled out. "See down there?" I looked and saw a row of tablets at a slant just off the vertical axis. "That's where the prototype tied us down and cut us open, one by one." He seemed very scared of this place. Had bad memories of being here for sure. I couldn't imagine how the poor puppy must feel right now. He then gasped and said, "Get down!" I ducked a bit and asked what was wrong. "The prototype is down there," They gulped. All we could see of him was the silhouette of his head and broad shoulders. He was standing near two large containers filled with a murky liquid. A console rested below them, where he punched a bunch of buttons and switches. The person that had been supposedly lying to me for years was right there. I wanted answers. Why did he turn me into such a monster? And why did he kill my friends? I just had to know. Dog Day saw me stand up. "What are you doing?" "I'm going down there. He owes me answers. Real ones." I groaned. "No, wait, don't!" The puppy pounced on me and held me down. "Hey, what are you doing?" I spat back at him. "Shh, just stop and listen for a minute. He's talking about something." Dog Day whispered back and led me up a little bit so I could see what was going on. "Log 3241, his low metallic voice started. "I've continued to have Catnap track down the remaining smiling critters. Dog Day is the last one I need for my experiments. Catnap should be bringing him back sometime this evening. My Catnap subject is still taking well to the brain treatments. Doesn't know a thing besides what I tell him. But at least even his usefulness is coming to an end. I've plucked some parts out of him over the years, and now the good ones are becoming scarce. Soon enough he'll be nothing more than stuffed animal cool like the rest of those resistant critters. I think I may be able to squeeze another week out of him. 2 tops." My mouth dropped open to a big frown, and my eyes widened in shock. It was just like Dog Day said. I was just a tool to him, not a friend or anything else. He didn't care about me. Well, I certainly wasn't going to work for him anymore. The prototype would need to find a new slave. Adding in the last few ingredients to my latest creation now, was able to extract enough parts from Catnap to craft 2 specimens that are based off his likeness. More specifically, how the humans reported seeing him after being intoxicated by his resmo. Colorless and bony. Nightmare fuel, some called it. Beings created with no soul. And thanks to the hairs I was able to pluck off Huggy Wuggy the other day, their obedience levels will be extremely high. will be extremely high. No more talking back like Catnap does to ask me stupid questions. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? How annoying. But at least I'm able to wipe any questioning out of his memory. Now, time to come to life, my creations. His metallic hand pulled the lever down. Powerful surges of electricity filled the tanks. Dog Day and I saw something moving inside them. A bony hand pressed up against the glass of the left tank, making a clunk noise. It had the same shape as my paw, except that its fingers extended much longer and narrowed down into sharp points. The glass squeaked as the bony paw slid down it. The claw-like ends pointed outwards and cracked the glass. A few seconds later, and both the casings broke open. A few seconds later, and both the casings broke open. Limb bodies slid down the console and flopped to the ground. Even that murky water flooded everywhere. But the prototype did not seem worried about it hurting anything. Two bony cats dragged themselves up onto all four legs. They looked very similar to me in structure, except that they were even taller and made of bone. Their mouth dropped down low and almost grabbed their chins on the ground. Their foil-like mouths turned to face their creator. Small white pupils floated in the cavernous eye sockets. Welcome to the world, my kittens, the prototype purred to them. They still stared blankly, not showing any emotion. Wonderful. No talking means no questioning, he chuckled. And that means absolute obedience. An alarm sound went off from the left side of the console. The prototype's metallic feet skittered himself in front of it. He turned off the high-pitched blaring and turned the TV screen to a security camera. The video feed showed Huggy Wuggy and the human carrying a battery pack into the gas production zone. It seems we have some unauthorized visitors. He turned to the bone cats again. As your first test, I want you to go and destroy them, the metallic hybrid commanded and pointed to the screen. Their two cat skulls nodded and rushed off to find the gas production zone. Oh no, my friends, they gasped. I have to get over there and help them. The orange dog turned to exit the upper deck of the laboratory. I got up and followed after him. Not alone, you're not, I reassured my friend. Thanks, Catnap. Let's hurry. He smiled as we ran through the factory. I took a look at our surroundings as we moved away from the prototype's lair. Dog Day, I think I know a shortcut. Follow me. I swerved off the main path and dug down some of the back rooms. With any luck, we'll beat those bone posters to your friends. I tried to encourage Dog Day, who seemed to be falling behind a bit. Ow! The puppy cried out in pain. I heard his body collapse to the ground. Dog Day! I gasped and skipped to a stop. My paws kicked up some dust from the floor. I trotted back over to him. His body seemed to be trembling. Are you okay? What happened? It's nothing. I'm fine. The orange dog went to pick up the upper half of his body. Just a wound acting up. I'll be okay. Can you keep going and make sure my friends are okay? My concern was about Dog Day at the moment, but my best friend insisted that he was not the one in need of help right now. Please, Catnap, they saved my life. and they mean a lot to me, just like you do. His paw reached up and touched his lower torso, as if that was where the pain was coming from. I could see some stitches painted around his torso. It was only now that I realized that the color of his legs and tail seemed a little duller than the rest of his body. My left paw twitched as the sound of a scream entered my memory. It wasn't just anyone's scream. It was Dog Day's. This wasn't an old wound. It was less than 24 hours old. A pang of guilt came over me. The prototype said he was expecting Dog Day today. He was the puppy I had strung up and then struck with my claws. Oh, Dog Day, how could I have done this to you? I swear, I'm going to do everything I can to make it up to you. Okay, Dog Day. I'll do everything I can to find your friends and keep them safe. I'll do it for you, I told the puppy. A big swallow went down my throat to keep a sob at bay. Thanks, Catnap. You're the best. I know I can always count on you. The orange dog rejoiced as I nodded and turned around to keep going down the shortcut. As I started off, I heard Dog Day whisper to himself, "Why must this happen now? Come on, Legs, hang in there. I just need you long enough to find Huggy and the human again." And that was when I couldn't hold it any longer. Tears streamed down my face. I had hurt Dog Day badly. He had said his friends had saved his life, probably right after I mortally wounded him. If anything else bad happens to my best friend, I'll never forgive myself. I must do everything I can to help Dog Day get better and fulfill his wishes. And that starts with saving his friends from these soulless creatures. Chapter 12. Coming Together. Huggy's POV. We had finally made it back to the gas production zone. A big blue battery pack was in the human's hand. Off to our left was the machine that held 3 large vats, the middle one having the red smoke inside. Below them was the computer screen by which the production of the gas could be regulated and transferred to different areas of the factory. By powering the gas production zone, we will be able to move the red smoke away from the elevator that would take us to the deepest depths of the factory. That was also where the prototype would retreat to if he felt threatened. The battery socket was pulling us in like a magnet. This was the last thing we needed to do to clear the way. "Okay, here we go," my friend said, and approached the battery socket. A hissing noise rose from the doorway, just to the right of the open outlet. I reached out and grabbed the person's shoulder, pulling him back. "Hey, what's that for?" he asked. "Shh, do you hear that?" The hissing noise got louder. "What is that?" my friend wondered, squinting his eyes. It was dark in that corner. Even I couldn't see anything until it wanted to be noticed. A bony hand reached out and grabbed onto the doorframe. It then hauled its head out. The long, gaping mouth could have swallowed the human whole. Its small white pupils locked onto us. We started to back away slowly as this bony cat stalked out of the doorway. This thing was definitely bigger than Catnap. "That can't be Catnap, right?" the human whispered to me. "No, he's with Dog Day right now," I reminded him. Another hissing noise came from our left. We looked and found another bone cat bouncing up onto the gas production machine. It squeezed itself between two of the vats and snuck down the console to the ground. Now both of them were hunting us down. Hisses continued to emanate from both of them. "What should we do?" my friend quietly asked me. I cleared my throat and gave them a roar of warning. The little pupils seemed to narrow down as deep guttural roars came from their tight bunny neck. The little pupils seemed to narrow down as deep guttural roars came from their tight bony necks. It was a menacing sound that made me want to curl up and hide. I gulped. "I think running is a good idea. To that elevator over there," I announced as we turned and ran. My friend tripped on an electrical cord on the ground. The jarring motion as he hit the ground tossed the battery back out of his hands. "Oh no, the battery!" he gasped. "We can come back for that later," I said, and turned around to help him out. Those bone cats were starting to pick up their pace. Red smoke seeped out of their mouths too. "Right now we're gonna get out of here." I picked up the man and ran. A quick glance over the shoulder saw our enemies transition from a swift trot to a full-on gallop. They were chaining quick now. I got down and let myself slide along the ground like I did earlier to escape Miss Delight. This time I slid into the elevator with the human in my arms. He squirmed out of my grip and headed for the button that would take us up and away from this dangerous cat. The man pushed the button several times. The words, "Please close elevator door," flashed in red under the big red button. The words, "Please close elevator door," flashed in red under the big red button. "Huggy, we need to close the door," he called to me. I looked around, not sure what door he was talking about. "Over here. It's one of those old sliding cage doors." The person pointed toward a metal grate. My yellow fingers grabbed onto it and frantically tried to pull it from right to left. The door started to come, but got stuck halfway. "Hurry, Huggy!" the human urged me. I gave a big heave and the door came crashing closed. My body fell onto its side as the gate slammed shut in front of me. It was just in time, too. One of those bone cats took a leap at us. It ended up colliding with the cage door with a loud crash. The feline then collapsed to the ground. Its bony limbs flayed around in confusion and seemed to be having trouble getting itself up. My friend smashed the button again, and we started to travel upward. It was a slow ascent. The other bone cat watched us with its eerie pupils. My friend gasped as he hooked his claws in the metal gate and started to climb it. The feline stayed level with us as we traveled upward. Thankfully, it could only go so far. Once it reached the ceiling of the gas production room, there was nowhere else for it to go. We both breathed a sigh of relief when it couldn't follow anymore. It was only then that I realized that the human and I had huddled together. He noticed that I was looking at him and backed off a bit. Was he still scared of me after I had gone off on Miss Delight like that? "So, do you know where this is going to take us?" he nervously asked. "Back into Catnap's territory, I think." "Oh, great," the human parrot. "Hopefully Dog Day is still keeping Catnap busy. The last thing we need is another cat after us right now." "2 bony cats are more than enough," I nodded in agreement. Our lift finally made it to the upper floor. slowly and quietly opened the gate-like door. It squeaked a little from old age, but otherwise was pretty quiet. But cats had good hearing, so I stopped for a moment to make sure I didn't hear any hissing coming our way again. We looked left and right, but the area was completely empty at this point. I motioned with my hand for my friend to follow. We stayed silent, hoping we could go undetected from the bone cats, at least for a little while. We traveled down some desolate corridors. Seldom were they seen by anyone other than Catnap and maybe the prototype. No one else dared step foot over here in fear of incurring Catnap's rage. That was something that you did not want to be the focal point of. The pounding sound of a four-legged creature galloping reached our location. We stopped on the spot, our eyes widened in shock at how close it sounded. How did we not hear it approaching until now? "Run!" I whispered to the human. We both took off running. I took a corner and ended up colliding with the creature, making the pounding noises. It was such a sudden collision that I didn't even get to see who it was. The next thing I knew, all three of us, me, the human, and the pursuer, had collapsed into a heap, entangled with one another. All three of our voices groaned in pain. I attempted to open my eyes and found myself staring into the eyes of Catnap. Me and the human gasped and scrambled away from the purple cat. "Oof!" Catnap mewed as his body dropped to the ground from being on me. He put his paws down and lifted his head. Giving it a quick shake, he looked back to us. "There you are! Is everything okay?" he asked us. It was only him here. Where was Dog Day? The fact that our puppy friend wasn't here made me suspicious. I gave a growl of warning, showing my fangs. Whoa, easy there!" Catnap brought his paws up in innocence and folded his ears back. "Huggy, I always thought we were on good terms. What's gotten into you, Furball?" But then his eyes widened. Furball? He pondered on that word. I let up on my snarling, realizing that he didn't seem eager to attack us. Catnap sighed and looked to us with a heavy heart. "You two were the ones I attacked earlier today, aren't you?" "Yeah, you did. I thought you were going to kill me," the human replied to him. I'm sorry. I haven't been myself lately. These past few years are nothing but a blur to me. I'm slowly getting pieces of it back, realizing all the horrible things I've done under the prototype's control. And I understand that you two were a couple victims in my wake murder. And I understand that you two were a couple victims in my wake mirror hours ago. So I don't blame you if you want to hurt me to get revenge. Just know that I came to find you on the wish of Dog Day to make sure you were okay. We saw the prototype unleash those imposters upon you," the purple cat explained. "So where is he? Where's Dog Day?" my friend questioned. "He should be on his way here. He just had to take a minute to rest." Catnap seemed to have a hard time getting that sentence out. How do we know that you're telling the truth?" the human accused, pointing at him. I growled and gave the feline a cuff to the head. He grunted as I proceeded to push him to the ground. My fangs bared at him. "Go ahead. I'm sure I deserve it," Catnap said submissively, seeming sad. The fact that he didn't fight back told me that he was telling the truth. His pupils shifted away from me. Good to have you back, Catnap, I said, and got off him. Huh? You mean you don't want to get revenge on me? The purple cat asked as I helped him up. Nope. I'm just happy to see that you're back to your old self, I reassured him. Oh, thank you, he replied. The sound of Dog Day panting reached our location. Oh, thank goodness, the puppy sighed in relief. You're all here. The prototype's new creations didn't get to you, did they? He slowly dragged himself our way. We managed to get away without any injuries, my friend assured the orange dog. Catnap rushed back to Dog Day. Is everything all right, Dog Day? You should rest. Don't push yourself too hard. He gave the puppy a gentle head bump. I'm fine, Catnap, but Dog Day still panted hard. If everyone's okay, we should get out of here. Let's take that shortcut back. Catnap stayed near his friend as they began to lead the way out of the barren factory hallways. A heavy door closed in front of us. No! Dog Day cried and rushed to the door. He tried desperately with his paws to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. When his paws didn't work, he transitioned to pushing his whole body weight against it. Nothing worked. Please tell me this isn't the only way out of here, Catnap, he begged, but the feline did not answer. He looked a bit distracted. Catnap's ears twitched. A look of fear came over him. The prototype knows we're here. He's not going to let us leave. And now he's calling me. Catnap, you can't go back to him. The orange dog panted and walked back to his friend. I have to, the feline admitted, but this time I won't obey. I have to go back. In order to end this madness, I'm going to kill the prototype. Catnap said with confidence. Well, you're not going alone then, Dog Day replied. I'm coming too. And so are we, I said. Yeah, we'll take him down together. We're a team now, the human said, giving a thumbs up. Catnap's eyes watered a bit. I don't deserve friends like you, but here you are. Thank you, everyone, the feline said. Lead the way, Catnap. We'll be right behind you, Dog Day encouraged him. Well, guys, that's all for today. If you guys enjoyed it, subscribe, hit like, and don't forget to turn on the notifications. I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.